Well, moments ago, a federal appeals court panel heard arguments regarding the Trump administration's use of a wartime law to deport undocumented Venezuelan immigrants to an El Salvador prison. The case has sparked debate over whether the Trump administration violated a court order halting those deportation flights. CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen joins us now. You've been following this story very closely, Jake. What did we learn in court today?
Well, that's right. I just got back from the courtroom where this argument was underway. There were two conservative-appointed judges, and there was one Democrat-appointed judge in this case in a three-judge panel, which basically it was just a lightning round of asking questions at these attorneys. It started off with the Department of Justice saying that they felt that this case was actually filed in the wrong venue, and that because the plaintiffs, the 5 original people who sued to block their deportation before Judge James Boasberg, expanded it to fit anyone who would fit under this Trump proclamation of the Alien Enemies Act, that those people are in Texas, and a suit needs to be filed in Texas to basically adjudicate the rest of these claims. The ACLU attorney basically argued that they're not even sure how many alleged Tren de Aragua members or people who are subject of this executive action are actually in the United States, how many of them are in Texas, how many of them are in other states. And by that logic, right, it's very hard for the plaintiffs who are suing in this case, the ACLU, to represent their clients when the government is not telling them where exactly everyone is so that these cases could be pursued locally there. One judge was very skeptical of the Department of Justice's argument that basically the President Trump has sweeping power in this case, basically saying that you can exact and put into place the Alien Enemies Act, but you cannot assume that we will not ask questions about it, and we need to make sure as a court that everyone who is actually being deported to countries like El Salvador are actually gang members. The Department of Justice basically said they, again, still believe that he has sweeping presidential authority. There will likely be no decision today, although all 3 judges said that they wanted something expediently so that this can either go to the Supreme Court or be challenged in other ways going forward.
So what's the next step in the legal process for all of this?
Well, down a rung on the court in Judge Boasberg's court, tomorrow the government has due a report and a brief to him on why they did not turn those planes around. And that's, again, a critical part of what you just mentioned of why we even are at this point right now, is because the government did not turn those planes around despite his verbal order. He said he wants a briefing from the government tomorrow, and then by Friday from the plaintiffs, basically explaining each side in the case, and to go down potentially whether he would find the government in contempt of court for not turning those planes around. And we'll see what else comes out of this circuit court. I would expect a ruling soon. They seem to imply, as everyone is aware in this case, that just holding people and potentially the government want to rush them out to get them into planes, that there has to be some kind of decision sooner rather than later on what to do with the people who are in U.S. detention that the Trump administration wants to send to other countries.
All right, Jake Rosen, thanks so much.